Tonight, we wrap up the first 13 weeks of the season with a good Monday nighter between the San Francisco 49ers and the Los Angeles Chargers. California visits Southern California. The Niners and Chargers, off we go from L.A. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. Gets around him.
This defense for the Niners, they were terrific a week ago in the win over Seattle.
And one of the key things you always look for when you're evaluating a defense is how opportunistic are they? How many takeaways do they get per game? And how about last week's game? That number, 6. Absolutely phenomenal performance. They were on top of their game right from the first snap.
This running game's so important for them, and they know that. It helped lead them to a victory last week when he was over 100 yards.
Let's face it, it's their identity. And that's what they want to play to. They want to be that team that runs the ball really well each and every week. And right now, we're seeing a pretty good pattern of that happening.
A gain of 6 there on first.
With these run-pass options, we often talk about a good quarterback and running back. Well, having a talented wide receiver helps also.
Yeah, even coming in third in the discussion, sometimes that means he really should be first because all you want to do is get the ball in their hands and let them make the big plays downfield.
From just shy of midfield, Herbert. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. And it'll be intercepted. Read it well, and it's picked. And the 49ers are going to get the football here as the ball will come out to the 20. They may have thrown the interception, obviously less than ideal, but I think they also sent a message that they're going to push the ball downfield in this one.
Yeah, not afraid to take their shots right away, huh? What was that, like a 9-9-9 route? 9 meaning go? Just went ahead and went for it. Didn't work out so well because it certainly appeared the defense was prepared. But I'm with you. Okay, so it didn't work this time. Doesn't mean we won't try it again later.
And bulldozing his way through. Now he's got this almost to the 40 before going out. So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
That's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. To throw, it's Lance. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Nasir Adderley. And they'll have the ball set up in the red zone at the 16-yard line.
So a first interception thrown for him there, and that really not the best decision either.
Not at all, and that's something he did not do in their victory last week. No interceptions in that game, but this defense, they're able to take advantage of an early mistake. Now let's see if they're going to turn it into points.
Now a handoff as they run left side. And they get to him quickly here as he stopped right around the 13. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Partner, you know I love to point out when teams break tendency and do something a little bit different from the norm. But when you run the ball in the first play of the drive, that's not a tendency breaker at all. That's just trying to establish yourself as you move forward.
They'll roll him out right. And that will be caught, but out of the end zone, says the field judge. It's ruled incomplete.
One thing that you're going to see from this offense is that they love the matchup with their wide receivers against this secondary. That one wasn't successful, but don't expect them to back away from attacking all game long.
In danger of squandering their great field position as they come up on a 3rd and 7. Play action this time for Justin Herbert. He'll buy some time right.
And he is out of bounds, getting it down to the 10. The decision to tuck and run gets him 3, but that's not enough. Now it's 4th.
So Herbert off, and on is Tristan Vizcaino for the Charger field goal.
And his kick is good. And the Chargers grab themselves a 3-0 lead. They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces him to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. This is what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. They threw an interception the first time they had the football, only gave up 3 points off of that, so it shouldn't be a difficult hole to overcome.
It really shouldn't, as long as they're not listening to the chatter. Coming from the other side, because when you throw a pick, look, I know defensive backs, they have a tendency to be a little bit loud after they take one away, but they also have a tendency to gamble a little bit more, thinking they'll get a second one. Maybe they can take advantage of that with some double moves.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11.
Now play fake. Lance
Steps away. This will be caught. It's Samuel. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield.
We talk about mobility on quarterbacks all the time. Here's where it really pays off. Able to move, evade, and is accurate throwing on the run and picking up a first down.
And now here's a carry heading left. He'll be taken down at the 48 for a pickup of 2 yards.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defensive front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
This throw incomplete, nearly picked off. And with his pedigree, he doesn't drop many of those. But 3rd down coming up.
And they'll need the 39 here for a first. This is 3rd down.
Lance going to throw.
They go with a shuffle pass, and it's complete. And the tackle going to be made at the 41 as they stop him a few yards short of the first. So the completion good for 7 there. And that's going to make it 4th down.
And they'll go for it. Lance. That's complete. It's Brandon Ayuk.
And he fumbled it. It's on the ground. And picked up by the Chargers. And his guys will take over at the 30-yard line. So they tried it. Not only did they not get the first, they fumbled it away.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it went from bad to worse, but I know that everyone's going to pile in on the call and say, well, what are you doing? Why would you go for it there? I think that teams that are convinced that they feel pretty good about their game plan, what they want to get done that day, go for it. Give it a try. Hey, let's see if your defense can rescue them a little bit.
Oh, this one incomplete. The pressure got to him as he released it. And it's second down.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. And tough going there as he'll only get it up to about the 31. They do get a yard there, but only a yard. Leaves them with 3rd and 9 looming. A play fake, and now Herbert to throw. Sliding out of the pocket.
Oh, that's into double coverage and intercepted.
Picked off at the 40. And his guys are going to take over at the 39-yard line. That's now his 2nd interception in as many weeks from his linebacker position.
And think about all the different techniques he has to employ in a passing situation. Is he spot dropping because it's zone? Is he picking up man-to-man? Is he having to run with a running back or a tight end? In any event, great eyes, head on a swivel, and excellent hands.
Yeah, versatility and showing those hands.
Partner, as a quarterback, sometimes you just got to know when the clock has gone off in your head, it's time to go. Tuck it and get all you can.
Now a handoff as they run left side. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11. 3-0 after 1 on EA Sports. On 2nd and 11 now. Lance flushed out right. And he's left with no option here but to throw it away.
Different pass rushes are designed for different things. Sometimes you want to keep the quarterback in the pocket. Sometimes you want him to flush. I don't know exactly how this one was designed, but they made sure they moved him to his right. He got out of the pocket. Unfortunately for him, he was hit as he tried to throw the ball, and that resulted in an incompletion.
Throwing his Lance on 3rd down.
Oh, hit as he throws there, incomplete.
They certainly had good starting field position on that drive, but couldn't do anything with it after 3 plays. Have to admit that that's a disappointing end to excellent field position. When that drive started, they had 6 points that they were thinking about.
And his kick is good.
So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal there.
And what a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as well. And kudos to you. You didn't jinx him.
And Davis content just to bring this out to the 25-yard line. The Charger drive about to get going. And, you know, it's certainly a lot of football left to play. We're not into December yet, but right now where we stand, they're in first place in their division, looking really good and looking to be a threat come January.
You know, are you one of those early holiday shoppers, partner? Are you one of those guys get your list done? Because I think about what every team has on their holiday shopping list right now. What's the number 1 goal? Make the playoffs. Number 2, win your division. Number 3, and I think the biggest goal of all, try to get the number 1 seed so you get that first-round bye and ensure you don't have to go anywhere in January and hopefully get to the Super Bowl that way.
Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
So I like that right there. Not only was it the right play, throwing it away like that, frankly, I think it was the only play.
Yeah, got outside of the pocket, realized he had nothing, just chucked it free.
Yeah, live to fight another down, right?
And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however. Let's see what that's about. So they saw the contact before the ball arrived. Penalty flag for pass interference.
And trying to avoid pass interference is so difficult. You're trying to slow down these skilled receivers, and somehow, some way, they make plays on the football, and sometimes you're there too soon.
They'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
Just a simple tap pass, but it pays off in a big way.
And sometimes the simple stuff causes the most problems for a defense because there's a breakdown in communication there. When that receiver goes behind the line of scrimmage and it looks like he's going in motion, someone either has to go with him or he has to be passed off to another defender. Somehow they didn't get that communicated well, and it turned into a nice play.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. And now here's a carry heading left. And running room hard to come by here. He gets it down to the 8. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8. This defense against the run, by the way, they're not top 5, but they are top 10.
So what's your philosophy here? Do you try and run the ball against a team that's pretty good against the run? What if you're a pretty good running team? If so, you might want to go ahead and run it anyway because that's your strength.
And this is caught. Touchdown. Wait, hold a second here. Flag down. Let's see if this will stand. So reverse the celebration. We'll see if they have something else in their bag of tricks.
And isn't that always tough to watch when they score and you see the excitement and then when they realize those points aren't going to count? Can they get it back together and find their way back to the end zone?
And that one goes incomplete on the drop. That's one he definitely normally catches. 4th down.
So Herbert off, and on is Tristan Vizcaino for the Charger field goal.
And this one is right through. And they will take the lead here in this battle of field goals. It's 6-3. So we're trading first-half field goals. No breakthrough on the touchdown front. Got a 6-3 game.
Yeah, and I know so many people look at a game through offensive eyes, right? They want to see how the game's played that way. You know how I'm going to view it, right? The defenses, to me, have responded well in this game. Like what I'm seeing from them, both of them hoping to keep it to field goals and not give up big touchdowns.
The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left.
More football.
And now this is intercepted. My goodness. Picked off by Nasir Adderley. And this return is going to be halted right around the 28-yard line. This defense had 3 interceptions last week. They're on pace for more than that here. 2 in the first half.
Do not adjust your set. This is not instant replay. This is a defense that is locked in. They're essentially running the routes for the receivers and turning into the receivers themselves, aren't they? I mean, it is amazing what I'm seeing because the reactions of those guys back on the back 7, phenomenal.
Coming up on a 2nd and 6. From the gun, they'll try to run it.
He is taken down at the 21 after a short gain of 2.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
Herbert on 3rd down now. Rolling to his right. And this is going to be incomplete.
They certainly did a nice job improvising there, extending the play, hoping someone would come open downfield, but they never did.
And his kick is indeed good. And they continue to lead in the battle of field goals here. It's now 9-3. So he's been a busy man here in this first half. That's 3 field goals for him now.
And not just 3 field goals, but 3 for 3. So even though the offense has struggled a bit putting it in the end zone, they've still been able to come away with points due to his leg.
And he'll decide to not bring this one out as their drive will begin at the 25.
The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. And last time, 1-play interception. So this offense, they should be fresh.
That's a good way of putting it. And I can't wait to see what they decide to do with play calling. Because a 1-play drive where you throw an interception, a lot of people think the very next time out, run the football, don't give them a chance.
Maybe play action.
I think maybe you go play action, show your quarterback, get a little confidence in him, and let him fling another one.
And he gets this to the 35. Good for a gain of 5. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. reminder coming up just a few minutes from now. We'll send you to Jonathan Coach Minute, our crew in Orlando. Coach will have a look back at some of the stats and scores. Blitz coming, and down he goes. The Chargers going to signal for the first of their timeouts. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. So on 4th down, here's the Australia native Mitch Wishnowsky to punt this one away. And look at this, it's a fake. And he's going to be out of bounds right at midfield. The trick play works. Excellent execution, 18 yards on that fake and a first down.
Play action, now it's Lance.
And I think that one might have been intercepted, but he will be ruled out of bounds. So this will go only as incomplete.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
It seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense.
Now he's going to swing this one out to his running back. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line. So they'll wind up losing 5 yards on the play. And they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here. Now Lance. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off at the 46. And he brings this one back. It's a pick 6 and a Charger TD. And now, oh boy, this is a bit of a surprise, to be kind. They accepted the holding penalty, so wipe out the interception, and their defense will stay on the field. Okay, so the special teams penalty cost some yardage there as they come out on 1st and 10. Now Herbert with it, looking to pass. Eluding the pressure right. He's going to fire one, corner of the end zone. And this is going to be intercepted.
Picked off by Ambry Thomas. And the Niners are going to take possession here. It's a touchback, and they'll take over at the 20-yard line.
I know it appeared he was saying, hey, give me the football, I'm open, but I don't know if that's a pass that he should have thrown there.
Well, I don't think we've ever met a wide receiver that doesn't think he is open or is about to be open.
True.
So when you throw your hand up in the air and tell your quarterback, hey, I'm available, he's trusting that you are. In this case, he was not, and it turned into disaster for them.
Lance now on 1st down.
And the Chargers rush is going to get there. Down he goes. Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. And he will find his man, Samuel. The 49ers now going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 24 seconds to go in this first half. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33.
Throwing now is Lance.
Can't get away, and he's taken down. Now San Francisco going to call their 2nd timeout as they stop it with 19 seconds to go in half number 1. Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. Another try after the first down sack.
Lance.
He'll rifle this one deep right side. And that's caught inside the 30. Touchdown. A big play there. In the final seconds of the first half. And the Niners, if they can convert the extra point, they'll grab the lead. Extra point splits the uprights, and that will give them the lead here as we get on towards halftime.
So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away.
And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. The Charger drive about to get going.
And with 10 seconds left, not really enough time to put something together.
They'll roll him out right.
And this is going to fall to the ground, incomplete. That very nearly their fourth pick of the game. Instead, second down.
The final shot before the break for Herbert. Flush to his right. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. So we have reached halftime here with the visiting 49ers on top. As we are off to Orlando now to check in with Jonathan Coachman and our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach?
Okay, Coach, yeah, adjustments likely going to play a big role in this third quarter in what's been a tight contest so far.
It's the 49ers out in front, and they will get the football first as well as we are back and started in the second half.
And here comes a return from the middle of the end zone.
The 49er offense set to get this drive underway.
And they've got the lead. CD, what do you think the message was at halftime?
I don't think the message was too drastic, I think, at the half, or that they need to change things too much. I do think the offensive line could play a little bit better. I think they'll try and help them out more. They'll probably keep a tight end in a few more times and maybe add a running back to the formation and pick up those pass rushers because they probably allowed a few too many sacks for comfort in the first half.
On 2nd and 11 now. Lance escaping the pressure right. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
Well, to me, this leads to the question, do you admire the way he puts his body out there all the time, or do you think he should protect himself a little bit more?
Well, he's been on the ground several times with all those sacks that he's taken. So, I don't know, I kind of admire him not sliding down there, don't you?
I'm with you on that one. The meter definitely leans towards admiration.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8.
Lance looking to throw it.
Flushed out right. Nothing open downfield, so he'll throw it away.
We've seen these defenses make enough opportunistic plays to keep this one low scoring. Flying around, making plays on the ball, and we see yet another errant throw as a result.
So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves him staring up here at a 3rd and 8.
Here's Lance.
Gets this one to Juszczyk. And he gets this only to the 44-yard line. Not near enough to keep the drive alive. They'll wind up getting just a yard out of it. And that's going to bring up a 4th down. Here comes the 49ers punter now. And surprisingly, this is the first punt of the game for either team. And look at this, another fake. But he will not make the first down marker. That'll be a turnover on downs.
So a definite surprise there. They try to fake punt, but this time it's going to blow up in their face, CD.
Yeah, it certainly has. And look, I understand what they're trying to do. They're trailing right now, probably trying to generate some momentum. But that felt like one of those go-for-broke type of a plays in a situation where I don't know that they needed to do that. They still have opportunities, and in this case, they took a chance, and it backfired.
The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. Here's Herbert. He'll buy some time right. And he's got him. Got his man on the end route. Complete. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25.
And Charles, with that completion, I'm told that puts him now over 3,000 yards passing on the campaign.
And Brandon, I think we have to start to think about where we are in the season, because right now, 4,000 is not out of the question. I think a big game or two, he's certainly capable of getting that done.
2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground, but I think the play gets made by the defensive front, because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
That catch good for 5. It's third down.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a two-way go. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it hard to defend.
Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short. Here we go on fourth down. And he takes it down to the 13 and picks up the first.
At first glance, I actually wasn't sure that he got it, but he ended up getting it by about a full yard.
He certainly did, but it took a little effort, didn't it? Took some nice push, a little crease inside, and some determined running to make sure that he got the first down.
The fourth down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on first down. Now a handoff as they run left side. Looking for a crease, can't find one. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, second down.
Really good stop there by the end in this 4-3 defense.
Yeah, not just pass rushers anymore, are they? Those guys can use their hands, control the point of attack, shed those blockers, and go get those ball carriers.
Sliding out of the pocket. And this will be caught in the end zone for a Chargers touchdown.
Tony,
his 9th touchdown of the season, and the Chargers are going to retake the lead. Now the Charger offense will stay on the field as they'll line up to go for the two-point try.
And they'll have Herbert try and throw for it.
Rolling to his right, and he will get into the end zone to extend the lead by 2 more. So the signal caller doing it himself there on the two-point try.
You got to like that. We always talk about the ball staying in the hands of the best players, but most of the time you want to get it to a back, pitch it to a wide receiver. In this case, the quarterback did it himself.
And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback.
The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. They find themselves down 17-10 as they come up on a 1st and 10.
From the gun, it's Lance.
Forced out to his left.
Oh, he'll look downfield for Kittle.
And he's got it. What a catch on the sideline. And they do finally get him, but he makes it all the way to the 6. A big play there for the Niners.
We see this happen so often. If you're a defender, it's like watching a bad movie over and over. The pressure's good, forcing the quarterback out of the pocket. But it's a lot to ask for these defenders to stay plastered to receivers long enough. And sure enough, they let a man come open, and the connection leads to a big play.
It's 2nd and goal, back to the 8-yard line now.
Here's Lance to throw it.
And for a 3rd time tonight, he's intercepted.
Picked up by Foyesade Oluwakin. And the Chargers are going to take over here on the INT at their own 5-yard line. Well, he had to fit that into a pretty tight window over the middle. And, Charles, I think they were in zone defensively, weren't they?
They certainly were. Nice read on your part. And sometimes the quarterback isn't fooled between zone and man. Sometimes just fooled by the type of zone that he sees. Because oftentimes those linebackers will vacate and run downfield with receivers. In this case, he played a pure zone and was in the wrong spot for the QB.
Here's a 2nd and 7 now from their own 7. Here's Herbert. They'll roll him out right. And he'll be out of bounds right at about the 10-yard line. They'll wind up with positive yardage. It's a gain of 3, but now it's 3rd down. Herbert eluding the pressure right. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
Oh, that's got to frustrate him a little bit because they nearly got to him there, and it would have been the first sack of the game. Instead, they're able to influence the release, and they did force the incomplete pass.
So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards.
On first down, Lance.
And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. Picked off at the 33. And he brings this one back. It's a pick 6 and a Charger TD. Been a bit of a backbreaker right there. You're down close, one-score game, trying to push the ball down the field and score, and you throw a pick 6.
And sometimes you take a little bit of a gamble when you're making your throws, right? Sometimes you press it a little bit more than maybe you wanted to because you want that score so badly. In this case, it cost them.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away.
And there will not be a return here. It's a touchback, and it'll come out to the 25-yard line.
The 49er offense set to get this drive underway.
We'll see if they can band back together after the pick 6. It hurt badly, but still within striking distance. A 2-score game with a good chunk of time on the clock.
He's going to rifle one deep left side. And that's caught inside the 35. Touchdown 49ers. A great play there. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Niners have made it a 1-score game again here in the 4th. Extra point right down the middle. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this 4th quarter. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes.
The Charger drive about to get going. Their lead back down to 1 score after the touchdown a moment ago. First down's a must.
And the ball is knocked out. And now this is scooped up by the 49ers. And they will take over at the 26-yard line.
I know when you're looking at the scoreboard clock, we're getting near the end of this game. But they were in what was really called 4-minute offense. And that's practice, meaning taking care of the football, taking time off the clock, not giving them a chance to come back. But bottom line is, what did I say in the beginning? Taking care of the football. That didn't happen.
Didn't do it. A costly turnover. Following the fumble recovery, Lance. And the coverage terrific there as that's knocked down and incomplete.
Quarterbacks work all the time on manipulating a defense with their eyes and their head movement. In this case, he just stared the receiver down. That allowed for excellent coverage, able to knock that one away.
To throw once more on 2nd and 10.
Lance.
Flush to his right. And they do get him down, but not before he's able to slip it inside the 5-yard line.
Looks to me, partner, like he's learned a little bit, because earlier in the game, I think he was trying to force a lot of throws into some windows that just weren't open.
Yeah, the interceptions had plagued him, especially a second interception, really a bad throw. So maybe a better decision there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I think he learned from earlier in the game, and he's applying it now.
A looming decision to make on the conversion, down 7, but first things first, they need to score as they come up on 1st and goal.
Sermon will get about halfway there as he takes this from the 4 down to the 2.
Give him 2 yards on that one, 2nd and goal now.
Again with Sermon.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. They lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
And now 3rd and goal coming up, the loss on 2nd down. That just means this crowd's going to get even louder, and they'll get a little bit of extra help from the defenders as they exhort them to join them in the effort.
Well, they'd really like to make the short field pay off. We'll see if they can, but this is 3rd and goal. They'll try and run. Sermon.
That's going to back him up almost a full 10 yards. It's going to be a loss of 9 officially, and it's 4th down.
I know this is your spot, partner, so forgive me for jumping in, but there's no decision right here. They have to go for it in this situation. They're down on the scoreboard. How many other opportunities are you going to get?
Yeah, I'm with you. 4th quarter, like you said, down on the scoreboard. And remember here, a field goal virtually does them no good. So an interesting call there to take the 3. I mean, I guess they're thinking that their hands were tied, but, 4th quarter, that field goal might not help them that much in the end.
Yeah, eventually they're going to need the touchdown. The thinking must have been they didn't feel confident about picking it up there, hoping maybe on defense they can get better field position, get a turnover, get a better play, and then they'll have a chance to attack the end zone.
The Charger drive about to get going. Right now clinging to a 1-score lead, Charles, and I think operating within that 4-minute offense with a little less than 4 minutes to go applies here, right?
It certainly does, and that means the playbook is still wide open. But you are a little bit more careful about what you're calling. You want plays that are going to gain yardage, how would you say it, consistently, right? You don't need the big shots downfield, but make sure the clock continues to run. Pile up the first downs. And the goal, end the game with your quarterback kneeling down at the end, and you still have the lead.
They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And that's going to be good for a Chargers first down as he's got this up to the 45-yard line.
I have to chuckle to myself a little bit, Brandon, because right now I could be in that huddle with that offensive line, and I know exactly what they're saying. If you call a pass play here, we're going to call timeout. Run the football. We've got control of this thing. Get in behind us and let's go.
Their time to shine. Here's a throw out wide, complete to his running back right side. The 49ers now going to use the first of their timeouts. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the 4th quarter. 2nd and 9 from the 44. They'll fake the handoff. Now Herbert. And this will move the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the 49ers 30.
These guys are running offense like you drive. The pedal is down, stomped down. How about that? Back-to-back completions. They are rolling.
So much for being conservative and running that football. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Fourth quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a 1-score game. So it's Charger football as we welcome you back from the 2-minute warning. They've got a 1st and 10 as they look to try and finish this one off. Oh, he's got a little daylight. And all the way in for a Charger touchdown. A great effort there. Touchdown number 22 on the season. And the Chargers are looking to make it 2 straight as they add on to this 4th quarter lead. Point after, right down the middle. And that pushes the lead up to 11.
goes the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away.
Well, from deep in the end zone, he's going to bring this out. And he's probably realizing he should have stayed in the end zone as he can only muster a return to the 14-yard line.
For most people, the excitement of a kickoff return is to see a long one that goes back in the opposite direction. But for the guys covering it, it's being able to stop them deep in their own territory. How about that incredible form tackle right there? Shoulder in the ball carrier, and down he goes.
Throwing on first down is Lance. Pass complete, Samuel.
They get him to the ground right on the cusp of the red zone after a pickup of 5 or 6. Looking to throw again on second down. Lance. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. Well, this is taken in. It's complete. So the line of scrimmage all the way up to midfield now as they've got it 1st and 10.
From midfield, here's Lance. Oh, he'll look downfield for Kittle.
Got a man, it's caught inside the 10. And he takes this one into the end zone, and all of a sudden, here in the final minute, things get a little bit tighter.
No, we're not cheering. No, we're not rooting, but I am excited about this. I know you are, too. We got a ball game again after that big-time strike.
Big-time strike, and you are right. Don't go anywhere yet. This thing's not done. So certainly some importance to this one now. After the touchdown, they could get this down to a field goal with a 2-point conversion. And he will get into the end zone as a 2-point conversion is successful. And the lead is down to a field goal here in the 4th. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. The Charger drive about to get going. And checking the timeouts. They do have 2 defensively, but no real need to use them as they're not going to be able to stop the clock after that. And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. 2nd down. Now a timeout called for by the defense as the clock's going to stop with 47 seconds to go in the 4th. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. And now here's a carry heading left. It's a 4-yard pickup there, and it leaves him with 3rd and 5. I guess the simple question, why not just take a knee there?
I don't understand either why you would take any sort of a chance. We've seen it happen in the game of football. It doesn't matter whether you watch high school, college, or the NFL. Some people get a little greedy, try to get that extra running play in, and it can backfire on them.
Herbert to a knee, and that should just about write it into this one.
Listen, anytime you take a knee to end a game, that means you've won it. So it doesn't matter whether it's home or on the road, but there's something a little extra special about doing it in front of your home crowd, isn't there?
And the home crowd applauding. They're happy with what they've seen. Chalk this one up in the left-hand column for a win.
Yeah, that's right. Head to the locker room, throw the wristbands in the crowd for the kids, your gloves, your towels. Get to share it with the home team.
So this one's over. It's in the win column for the LA Chargers. And they were buoyed, Charles, by a big second half that put this one on ice.
So you get the sense that whatever was said at halftime obviously hit home. I think it's a little bit more than that, though.